welcome back to Akron Buzz. Today I'm with Jeremiah Isley. Jeremiah, you're the co-creator, producer, and director of the Cryptic podcast.
I am.
Go ahead and tell me a little bit about this podcast. I know you were on here for season 1, but go ahead and just for people that may not have seen that, kind of summarize it for us and tell us what it's all about.
Yeah, so Cryptic is a scripted audio drama. So if you think back in the days of like the 20s and 30s of radio plays, kids gathering around the radio in the living room before there was television.
Right.
That art form has come back to life, and it's now distributed via podcast. So Cryptic is in that genre, it's in that art form, and it's based in Ohio. It tells the story of two twins, Cole and Julie Kurtz, and they explore the weird and unknown things here in Ohio.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, Mothman, the Serpent Mound down in Adams County. So lots of weird things that go bump in the night. And it turns out in this world of Cryptic, all these legends are true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love listening to podcasts. I listen to them all the time. And I've personally been searching for more scripted content. I recently found one podcast that kind of fills that niche, but I'm definitely looking for more. So it's probably something I could personally look into. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about what it took to get this podcast started. It's maybe not something that people are used to listening to or searching for. So what did it really take to get it all started?
It took a lot of work. The co-creator and writer, Adam Hoffman, and I started pre-production, like almost a full year before we started actually creating, and definitely before the show ended up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and everywhere you can listen to it. So there was a lot of creative process that went into it. Adam is a stage play writer. So he really took some time, and we went back and forth really kind of crafting out the story arc, how these characters were going to interact. Then, I mean, it's not just a host and a co-host for this show.
Right.
There's over 10 professional actors in our cast. We have local musicians that provided original pieces of music for our soundtrack. It's been a very big scale for an indie project. It's been a really large scale production.
Definitely, and how are you saying with actors and all the musical talent that goes into it? What went into kind of finding and selecting these people that would be featured in the podcast?
Sure. So as I mentioned, Adam writes plays. He's a playwright. He and I both work for a professional company in Barberton called Magical Theater Company. So we have a lot of friends that we called in favors.
Yeah, of course.
So those folks, we talked with them, and they were able to help out, and some family members, just kind of anybody that we could get a hold of through our life in theater, in the arts, and so forth, that were willing to be a part of the show, came together to make this show. And the first season's been incredible. It's been a lot of fun.
Excellent. Now, you mentioned how it's kind of based off, or at least inspired by, kind of the radio back in the day before TV, or even when kids all kind of gathered around.
Yeah.
Did you have to do any research, or at least go back and maybe look into some of those, or listen to them personally to kind of build inspiration? A
little bit, but I also took a lot of inspiration from the folks that are doing it now.
Okay.
Because the format, yes, it's a radio play, but the format for podcasting and, just show length and sound design, we hear a lot more through a podcast. We have a full range of frequencies available, whereas AM radio back in the day, it was very mid-rangey. So some of the technique and some of the art form has evolved. So I really sort of, gleaned more from the modern day folks that are creating these things.
Excellent. And so you have season 1 is starting to wrap up, and then you're going to start Kickstarter for season 2. Can you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd love to. Season 1 wraps up. Part 2 of our season finale will be released to the public on February 26th.
Okay.
And on that day, we will be launching our Kickstarter for season 2. So it's a big day for Cryptic.
Right,
it's February 26th coming up here.
And so what are some of the ways that people can kind of help out towards this Kickstarter, or what are some of the tiers kind of linked to this?
Sure. So anything from like $1 just to chip in and say, hey, I think what you're doing is cool. You can start there. On up to $2,000 and being our executive producer, and everything in between. We've got a lot of really cool rewards I've got a new logo for season 2, so we have new stickers and magnets and things like that you can get as just a little thank you for being a part of it. We're producing a season 1 soundtrack album, so we'll be releasing for our Kickstarter backers an extended version of that. And even some of our higher levels, you can make a cameo appearance on the show, or you can name a character on the show.
Wow.
So lots of really cool creative ways that you can be
involved.
Yeah.
Wow, very, very cool. So do you want to go ahead and mention a website or social media where people can kind of find more out about you guys?
Absolutely. So you can check out crypticpodcast.com. It's really the best place you can find all of our social links. You can listen, you can stream the show right there on the site. So crypticpodcast.com is the best place to go, but we're on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Cryptic Podcast.
All right, excellent. So you guys have season 1 wrapping up on February 26th, your Kickstarter for season 2 starting on the same day.
Absolutely.
And people can get involved. And you also mentioned that you have a Patreon. Do you want to mention that really quickly, just how people can get involved with that?
Yeah. So Kickstarter is like a one-time thing, one-time way to support the show and be involved. Our Patreon is an ongoing thing. So it's a monthly sort of subscription. We do a lot of extra content there. We've released a special Christmas episode that is strictly for our Patreon patrons. And so if you go to patreon.com/crypticpodcast, you can find out more information there. But it's as little as $1 a month. You can chip in and help out the show.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about your podcast, Cryptic, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And I hope that this kind of helps out and people can kind of discover this podcast or continue on to season 2.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Of course. And thank you guys for watching Akron Buzz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and our website, and we'll see you guys next time.